There are many reasons that people quit collecting Masterpiece Transformers. I have seen people quitting the hobby over the years. I see it in my comments section. I see it on podcasts from ex-Transformer collectors, especially in the Masterpiece realm. I see this all the time, but today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons that I see most commonly amongst people that want to quit collecting. At the end, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion, my feelings, my beliefs about the whole topic. And a quick shout out to Retro Blasting and Analog Toys. If you watch them, then you know what I'm talking about. Let's get right into it. So the first reason that I'm seeing a lot of people quit the game is because of character selection. Now, there's a lot of issues with character selection, such as what figures are just getting remade? Are you having to swap out your figures all of the time? That's one of the top complaints that I hear, is that the figures that are in their pre-order are all figures that they already have a representation of that character. Yes, they may be better. There may be better improved figures, but they already have one. And I truly understand this complaint. This is definitely something that I see, and it continues to happen. But on the flip side, there are people that are really passionate about certain characters and want an even better representation than what they have. You know, I have kind of recently gone through that issue myself, and although I don't really like buying the same character over and over and over, I am happy to upgrade certain specific characters. If you're someone that's been collecting this stuff for years, and you've spent a lot of money on this stuff for years, then you probably don't want to spend a lot more money replacing your whole collection. So that's one of the bigger problems. So within this character selection, now we're getting a ton of different Minosaurs, a ton of different Superions, and that starts to kind of get frustrating, especially when it's happening all at the exact same time. You really can't wait till the end to decide which one you like the most, because let's say you like the Fans Toys most and you can't get your hands on one of the components to build it. Or you pick yourself a set to go with, you budget a certain amount of money you're going to spend on it, and it just gets more and more expensive with each release. That happens. The thing is, we don't get new characters. There are so many more characters, but companies don't want to take that risk with an obscure character. Now, I know back in the day, Make Toys or Make Toys had taken more risks, and a lot of people really love their Contact Shot. In fact, every time this figure pops up for sale, it's sold almost immediately in the Facebook groups. It's always the one that has sold next to it, and the other 50 figures still have a price. That shows that there is a big market for obscure characters, and more companies should take more risks with more obscure characters, because we keep getting more of the same and we lose collectors due to it. So the next reason that I'm seeing a lot of people quit the game is due to price. Now, the price is going up, and in fact 2020 will probably go down as the year Masterpiece Transformer prices in the third-party realm have skyrocketed. They went to a whole new level and will probably not go back. Now, Takara has been known for reaching pretty deep into your pockets lately, and that has sort of been accepted by the community. Either you're going to pay way too much for a figure and get it early and be the first ones to have the new engineering, or you're going to wait a year, maybe 2 years, and get a KO of it. That's just kind of how it works. Takara seems to be the most expensive and the cheapest at the same time. Well, not really the same time. There's about a 10-month lag there to get a KO of it. But Takara is leading this price increase. And other third-party companies and the distributors have to be looking at this thinking, we could be charging a little bit more, especially when they see the product quality we've been getting lately with, say, Hound as amazing figure with some weak plastic. But it's not just Takara, it's not just Fans Toys. Every company is having to charge more, or wanting to charge more. And that's the thing. They're in there to make money. Everyone's in it to make money. As much as you are passionate about something that you do, you still want to get paid for your efforts. And with that, we're seeing as much as a $50 price increase on X Transbots PN. And I can almost see with the Andrus, is it Andrus? With this one here, this guy has a new paint job. So we're going to charge a little bit more for it. But we started seeing that earlier too with the X version of the Phoenix. So we see this happening, prices going up. Not everybody can keep up. It gets challenging. It's a struggle, especially when multiple pre-orders hit at the same time, and you don't want to skip it and not pay for it because you may have to pay double or triple down the road. The next one on the list is availability. Now I would say price and availability go hand in hand. But the reality is, if there's 5,000 people wanting to buy a figure and only 2,000 or 3,000 available, there's a huge gap in the availability there. Which, of course, there's going to be some for double or triple the price down the road. But they're not available at release. Here's the thing. There was a time when Masterpiece Collecting, you could get pretty much any figure on release. You could watch a review and go, I don't know if I want that one. You know what, I guess I'll pull the trigger. These days, you have to pull the trigger months and months and months in advance, and it seems like years in some cases, with a pre-order to know you're going to get it. Now, that is frustrating to people. Now, it's not quite as bad as pre-orders selling out in 30 seconds, like we see with some other collecting hobbies, but it is a challenge. Most recently, we've seen the Fans Toys Hunk get released, and a lot of people looking for that figure. I figured there'd be a lot more available on release date, even if the price is up a little bit, but it seems like that figure's still hard to get your hands on if you didn't pre-order them. It seemed like not too long ago that Fans Toys Hoodlum sat in stock at every retailer for almost a year. In fact, he was accompanied by Rouge and Dracula, and those sat for almost a year. I think retailers had to discount all of those figures. I know for a fact Dracula got discounted down by $20 off the normal price to sell through it, and that doesn't happen anymore. Part of that is because there's so many more people collecting, and it could kind of bring into another question like, well, there's so many people collecting, who cares if a few quit? Well, I care. So the next issue here is the drought. Now, this drought of figures comes from a lot of reasons. First off, one of the droughts is some of these figures take a long time to get released. And some of it has to do with time of year and all of this. I mean, I think that is all understood by collectors. But it's not really understood how something can be bought and paid for, and 2 years later it's still not released. Those are some of the things that are frustrating to collectors. And these same people have passed on all these different versions because they're waiting for, say, the most definitive version, and it's still not out yet. Now, recently we found out that a lot of figures that have been put on the back burner weren't really on the back burner. They were getting redesigned for whatever reason, one reason or another. Hopefully the redesigns make them better, but still with that, it's a long wait. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why it takes a while to make these figures. These figures aren't created overnight. They're not designed in a day or two. It takes quite a bit of trial and error and working out all of the details to make an excellent figure. But still, the drought and the long wait can wear on a collector. And I think the last major reason is a reason, but it's a culmination of the first four. And that's collectors just simply lose interest. Now, you can lose interest for every one of these reasons. You don't get the characters that you're looking for. Keep getting the same characters over and over and over. I can definitely see that. You lose interest because of the price getting so high. Instead of buying 3 or 4 figures, you're down to just picking one. I can only get this one this month or every 3 months or however often because the prices are getting that high. You lose interest. If you don't get enough of your hobby, if you're not active enough in it, then it starts to get stale and not as much fun, not as much enjoyable. You cannot derive the same amount of joy as you used to when you had more buying power on them. Collectors also lose interest when they can't find a figure that they're looking for. I mean, that is a very frustrating thing, that you are getting hyped up. Everyone's hyped up about whatever figure is released, but you can't even find it anywhere. And if you do find it, you don't want to pay double. I mean, nobody really wants to pay twice what the figure sold for originally just to acquire it. But not being able to get what you want to participate in your own hobby can make you want to quit the hobby. And of course, losing interest due to the drought of releases. There's other reasons you lose interest. You can lose interest because you have other priorities in life, or you have other interests, or just other things happen. Your life situation changes for the better or for the worse. There's so many other reasons that fall into that category, but I do see it all of the time, losing interest. Maybe there are other things. Hey, Star Wars is a lot more fun. Not right now, but sometimes it can be. But let me tell you where I am with this whole quitting Masterpiece Transformer situation. I'm not going anywhere. I am looking forward to a lot of releases. A lot of people have negative things to say about Takara's RC. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on her and seeing what she can do. I'm looking forward to all of these releases, all of these promises that have been made by these companies. I'm excited for the future of Masterpiece Transformers. I kind of hope they do have some more obscure characters that they enter into the mix. I hope that some of these companies take a few risks, but for the most part, what's on the docket is pretty exciting when they get released. Every time we get a new Masterpiece figure released, it is exciting. So even if we went back to the olden days where we only got 1 or 2 Masterpiece releases a year, official Takara or third party, whatever, I would still be in the game. I'm not going anywhere. I would get excited about those couple of releases. Hopefully, if we only were getting a couple releases a year, they were great. But I remember those days. I remember those, and it seemed even more special having to wait so long for figures. But I don't ever see us going back to the olden days, the early days where you only got a few figures. I see several figures coming out all of the time. We're getting something to look forward to. But I'm not leaving the game, and I'm not quitting anytime soon. I do want to know what you guys think about this whole situation of collectors quitting the game. Like and subscribe. Today I'm hanging out.